All right. Uh, I've been slacking on my Baltimore Chronicles. So this is the third installation of the Baltimore Chronicles. And this is gonna have to do with Baltimore and The Wire. A lot of people fell in love with The Wire. I didn't watch The Wire until this year. Maybe 2 months ago, I watched The Wire for the first time, the first episode. I got the first season for $20 at the flea market. I said, hey, might as well give it a shot. Took it home, watched it, fell in love. As a show, I think it's everything that you look for in a TV in a show. You have the action, the suspense, the drama, the tear-jerking moments, the the cliffhangers. It left you hanging, wanting more. Um, so I fell in love with it. I mean, I bought every single episode on iTunes. That's how much I love it. I'm to the fifth season now, which I haven't started. Just gonna wait for the funds to accumulate before I start making purchases. But great show. But don't confuse fantasy with reality. It's a TV show. Where I live this real life. Um, and a lot of people have based their, it's giving Baltimore a terrible and completely negative perception in the eyes of most Americans. People that have never been here, never come to see Baltimore, never visited Baltimore, never lived here. Um, you know, it's it gives them maybe half of the picture of what's going on here. Um, First, I tried to understand which the context in which The Wire was written. When David Simon, who was the writer, creator, and producer of the show, when he began producing the show and writing the first episode, um, his job, he was a journalist at the Baltimore Sun, and he was a beat reporter for the crime in Baltimore and for the police department. This is the late 80s, early 90s, folks. This is when the crime hit its peak, when you had the crack epidemic really setting in, really bad, in most American cities. And he was here during the worst of it. Not that crime ever touched him, but at the same time, um, that's the eyes on which the show was written, basically. What he saw, what he, you know, picked up from the police department when he was following them, that's what he got to work with. Um, so a lot of the characters, the 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 plots, is all based off of things from 20 plus years ago. And when he, began producing in the 2000s, we're talking 10 years removed. By this time, the crime set had already dropped. Um, it, it became a much better place as far as raising families, living, working, just the total environment. There's a lot of redevelopment along different areas. Also understand that when they say that's West Baltimore they're shooting out of, most of those scenes were shot in East Baltimore over where I used to live at. It's a much more industrial area that once the shops and the companies closed their doors, they just left it. So it's also still disrepair. So there's a lot of blight that they could use to stage different shots, different scenes. Um, I mean, it was probably like half and half, but they don't really acknowledge too much of the East in this show. However, the scene where, for example, when Chris and Snoop when they shoot the nail gun into the ground, that was maybe 100 feet from where I lived at. That's right off of Kirk Avenue. But I lived at Bartlett and Kirk on the corner, and there was one block up and up this old turn. I'm not sure what street it was. I think it's like 20 something street. Um, but yeah, you have to look at the context in which it was written. He was going off the stuff that he had from the past that didn't reflect the current time or where we're at now. Um, as I mean, just use your mind, folks. If you watch a show and they degrade New York, you know, are you gonna take that word of mouth? That's the gospel, from God's mouth to your ear? No. Um, I mean, if you look at Homicide: Life on the Beat, that was filmed here early '90s. Um, crime, corruption. I think that most accurate portrayal of Baltimore right now is in the political structure. There's a lot of corruption here, not not to the degree that they show on the wire, but I mean there definitely is a lot of machine politics at work, a lot of backdoor politics, and that's one thing I wish would change. Because you see a lot more growth. It's not a business friendly environment. There's not a whole lot of well paying jobs, which help, and there's already been the residual effects from, the 80s and 90s that we're still recovering from, especially in the black community. Um, that, all those residual effects combined with a bad economy, um, a smaller workforce, not everybody can get jobs, you result to other measures. So as we slowly start to instill, and it starts at a younger age. I mean, the schools have improved the uh, the extracurricular programs at most schools, different recreation centers. Those have all improved. You have a lot of nonprofits that are stepping in and helping out. It's a much changed environment than what was in the past and what you see on the wire. The wire is all drama. It's all fake. You know, there's no Amsterdam. There's no open drug markets. There never were. Um, and fell off the wagon, y'all. Can't fucking believe it. But yeah, take it for what it is. That's a 7 minute video on Baltimore Chronicles, The Wire, Truth versus Reality. Um, Comment, rate, subscribe. If you take time to watch the video, I appreciate it. But as always, peace, love, and hair grease. Take it easy, y'all.